The April 27, 2017 City Council meeting is now called to order. Tonight, our prayer and pledge will be led by the Reverend Pedestrian Brown, Associate Pastor of Friendship Baptist Church. He is also an officer with the Longview Police Department. And I hadn't seen Mr. Pedestrian here because he is one fine young man. He's not here tonight? Okay, then in his absence, I will lead our prayer and pledge. Please stand. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and this time we have to come together, God, as a city, as a community. I pray that you'll watch over us during this meeting, that you'll give us discernment, compassion, a heart for others, a caring spirit. Know that the love that you share with us should be shared with all those around us, God. Let us remember that everything we have comes from you. Everything is in your hands. Let us take care of it, protect it, and let us share it with those around us. I pray that you'll watch over this meeting and the proceedings that take place, the decisions that will be made, will be done with you in our hearts and with the citizens in the forefronts of our thoughts, God. Thank you for all that you do for us. Forgive us when we fall short. In your son's name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I pray Mr. Pedestrian Brown is doing well. He is a police officer, so I hope he is okay. He will come and do this again for us. He's a fine, fine young man. Welcome, Jimmy. Oh, there you are.
Distinguished guests.
Tonight in our employee recognition, we're recognizing the Longview Municipal Court. Will our municipal court staff please come forward? Now come on up. Cindy Bell, Lorena Calderon, Laura Clinton, Deanna Frank, Kristen Fleming, Sally Forbes, Sloan Knapp, Bella Linda Lopez, Taisha Morrow, LaQuinta Payne, Brittany Tyner, Neosa Walker, Samantha Wheeler, and Dorothy Whittle. Currently, our court has the most well-trained staff in its history, with all 14 members having obtained certification through the Municipal Court Clerk Certification Program. This program was established to encourage professional development and educational growth for court support personnel. It is sponsored by the Texas Court Clerks Association in conjunction with the Texas Municipal Courts Association and the Texas Municipal Courts Education Center. This certification program is complete and is comprised of 3 levels. Participants achieve certification upon successful completion of each of the 3 levels, earning the titles of Certified Clerk, Court Clerk Level 1, Certified Court Clerk Level 2, and Certified Municipal Court Clerk. That's a lot of court clerks. The participants must complete 40 hours of continuing education and pass an exam at each level. 6 of these ladies have achieved level 1, 7 of them have achieved level 2, and our municipal court administrator, Sally Forbes, has achieved the final level to become a certified municipal court clerk. To qualify for this level, Sally had to attend an assessment clinic, complete 40 hours of court observations, submit a journal of those observations, and attend a 12-hour court administrator seminar. Whew. I feel like I just qualified by reading that. That was a lot of clerking. Okay, and our judge is here. Just Merriman, please come forward. You are certainly a distinguished member of this group. And we just want to recognize you ladies for what you all do because, thank you, Judge. Good to see you, sir. This court serves our public in ways that we don't even recognize, and they get it done in such an efficient manner that it helps our community. You know, we realize we do receive revenue from what these people do, and without them, that revenue stream would not be there. And so we appreciate the dedication and the time it took to achieve what you have achieved. It's not something you just walk off the street and say, I want to be here. It doesn't work that way. You have to achieve something. You all have done that, and we appreciate you all very, very much because you serve a function that we desperately need in our community. So thank you for the dedication and the kindness with which you do it, because I hear it all the time, because I have lots of people call me and say, can you get me out of this ticket? Well, no, I cannot get you out of this ticket. You broke the law, serve the time, do what you're going to do. But you all take care of them with such wonderful attitudes because no one's happy when they're coming to see you all. We recognize that. But we thank you for your wonderful spirit, the kindness that you do your job, and the way you serve our city. Thank you all so very much. here, let's get a picture. Look at it. Y'all caught what I said earlier. This is the most educated group we've had up here in 14 years. So, hands to them. Thank you all. No, not 14 years, 14 members in our history. In our history, that's the most educated class we've had in our municipal court. So thank you all once again for your service to our community. We're to citizen comment. I have one speaker card. Ms. Arna Wells.
Hello, Mayor, council members. The committee I'm representing tonight is the Coalition of Drug-Free Youth. What I'm here for is I would like for everyone to please, and I've had many people fill the survey out as they came in. It's the Community Needs Assessment Survey. And what it does, it asks about what we need for improvement, what drugs do we feel are more prevalent, do we feel that we need more law enforcement, more mental health, what do we feel that the city needs to do to improve the situation moving forward. And I'm taking this really personally. This goes back to Andy Mack's theory about what we want to do to make Longview safer. These numbers will also be available to Chief Bishop. Last year, sadly, we only had 200 responses. Our minimum goal this year is 500. I want to exceed that. An email was sent out to City of Longview employees as of 11 o'clock this morning. Only 75 had completed the email. And I'm just asking for, please check your emails, fill out the survey, complete the surveys. I'll be waiting in the back. It's a lengthy survey. I'm the woman in black. I'll be waiting. I'll hand the survey. I'll pick them up. I'm not just harassing y'all. I'm at Alpine Church of Christ. It's in the church bulletin. I'm working them. I'm going to my son's school in the morning, putting them in the teacher's boxes, fill them out. I'll be back Wednesday, picking their surveys up. And it's just, we want a better Longview. We want to know which direction we need to head, and it's for the youth. We want to know which drugs are more prevalent. It's just, everybody can do something. If you can't do something, give us some information, give us your opinion, and just please take an interest in Longview. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Arna. We appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much. We're now going to have a presentation. Beforehand, I'd like to recognize Mr. Dale in our audience tonight. Mr. Dale retired back in December, but he's back to see us tonight. So good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. We're going to have a presentation now commemorating Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Day. Ms. Marla Lamana. Lamana, I was really close. Not really.
It's okay. I tell people we're in the South, we gotta put the twang in it.
This proclamation is regarding Sexual Assault Awareness Day and Prevention Day, April 27, 2017. Whereas the Women's Center of East Texas has requested that the mayor by proclamation recognize April 27, 2017 as the Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Day in the city of Longview, and whereas sexual assault awareness and prevention calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts women, men, and children of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds in this community. So now I, therefore, Andy Mack, by the power vested in me, as Mayor of the City of Longview, proclaim April 27, 2017 as Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Day in Longview. I'm going to read something again. I don't normally do this. I'm going to read this again so y'all can grasp this one statement. Sexual violence is widespread and impacts women, men, and children of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds in this community. So it affects us all. And without people like Marla doing what she does, this awareness is not brought to the forefront, which it must be. And we thank you for your attention and your drive to bring this to the forefront, because when we become aware of things, and we can start solving these problems. When we fail to acknowledge them, we will never solve them. So we thank you, Marla, for your attention, your time, and all that you do for us. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. We're now for our public safety update. Chief Bishop.
Mayor Mack, council members, Mr. Willard, thanks for allowing me to give you an update since the last update that I provided. During the month of April, April was a busy month. April 3rd, as you may have already read in the news, we commissioned 9 new officers that started with the department. And I'd like to just read their names: Michael Preston, Rodney Eubanks, Jacob Lira, Tyler Stroheim, R.L. Davis, Bill Smeltzer, Kyle McBride, Colin Gross, and Leslie Sheridan. They graduated from the academy, were commissioned, and just this last week they started their 18 weeks of field training out in the field with their training officers. So they're now deployed out in the field for their last and final phase of training. Also today, we also commissioned another new officer. Officer Brian Roden comes to us with 4 years of experience from Odessa Police Department. He's formerly from this area and wanted to come back, so he applied and we commissioned him this morning. Next week, he'll join the other 9 out in the field for some field training. We just finished up another women's safety course. Again, this has by far been one of our most popular courses. We'll be having another one starting up June 5th through the 10th. We have a few seats left for anybody that might be interested in participating in this course, and they can call Officer Christy Bryan at 903-808-3388 if they're interested in attending this great women's safety course that we put on. Want to give a shout out to the Junior League of Longview for their annual First Responders Appreciation Dinner that they held last week for the first responders here in Longview and Gregg County. This is always something that the officers look forward to, and we certainly appreciate the efforts that they put forward to show their appreciation to the first responders here. So want to thank them for what they do. Our second Teen Citizens Police Academy is halfway completed. We had the opportunity to cover some driver education, both on the go-karts and on the simulators. So the kids are getting a good idea, the young adults are getting a good idea of driver safety and how that impacts law enforcement. They've also had the opportunity to participate in our judgment simulator and actually be put in some of the positions that the officers are in and test their judgment as to what they would do in certain situations. And then last as a reminder, the Centurion Club, the Giants of Law Enforcement banquet, will be coming up on Tuesday, May 16th at Mont Cobb. Doors open at 6, program starts at 6:45. Tickets are $15 each. They're available at the police department, or they can contact Karen Grisham at 903-237-1100 for anybody that might be interested in purchasing tickets to that event. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Chief Bishop? Chief, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Chief Stillman.
Mayor, Matt, members of council, Mr. Willard, thanks for the opportunity to update you on some happenings in the fire department since we last met. Our department this past Saturday took the opportunity, as we do annually, to recognize the good doings of 7 of our employees with various awards that our department recognizes. Our annual awards ceremony was hosted by our Longview Professional Firefighters Association. We want to thank them for stepping up for the last couple of years and taking this on. Without them, we would not be able to put this on. The first two awards are here in front of you. The Fire Chief's Award went to Firefighter Data Analyst Clay Kitchens. The Special Recognition Award went to Fire Driver Engineer Matthew Kropchuk. Our Rookie of the Year was Fire Apprentice Graham Wolf. Our Officer of the Year was Captain Chris Gregg. Our Paramedic of the Year was Fire Driver Engineer James Cooper. Our Brotherhood Award went to Fire Driver Engineer Chris Wilson. And our Firefighter of the Year, which is our longest standing award in the fire department, went to Firefighter Paramedic Craig Barton. And again, this is just a wonderful opportunity to recognize the good doings of our people. They're all out there working hard every day. And I also I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize our corporate sponsors that helped also for us to be able to pull this off and make it possible, and that would be Hospitality Health ER, Excel ER, Longview Regional Medical Center, and Christus-Good Shepherd Medical Center. And speaking of Christus-Good Shepherd Medical Center, we had the opportunity in the last couple of weeks to do some fire extinguisher training up there. As you can imagine, any type of a fire that would break out in the hospital, and these have happened from time to time, would be a very detrimental event with the amount of people that are housed in that hospital on any given day. So the ability of staff to be able to keep a small fire small by using their portable fire extinguishers that are throughout the building is a huge asset to the fire department. So, and I just throw a pitch out there for any other corporations or businesses in town that are interested in this type of training. They can reach out to the fire department at 237-1210, and we're happy to schedule these types of courses and trainings for you. Code Red, you're going to get tired of hearing me talk about this, but as long as it's a topic out there in the community with people not understanding how our warning system works, Code Red is a major part of that. It is a free service that the city offers. It's very easy to get registered to receive those timely notifications of impending or dangerous severe weather. So we strongly encourage all of our residents to participate with this. And again, it's free. And one other thing, and I didn't have a slide for this, but I want to echo Chief Bishop's compliments to the Junior League of Longview for last Thursday's event for feeding our emergency responders. I was actually out of town on business and wasn't able to attend, but several of our personnel did, and they were very thankful for that once again. So thanks to the Junior League for helping out. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Chief Stillman? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
We're now to the consent agenda. Any items that the council would like to pull out for separate discussion?
Motion approved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're to action items. Consider resolution awarding the contract to and authorizing and direct city manager to execute necessary documents for Tool Design Group for $145,000 for bicycle pedestrian plan for Longview MPO area. Ms. Owen.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Mr. Willard. I'm very pleased to bring for your consideration a contract for a bicycle and pedestrian plan. As an extension of the comprehensive plan, the bike plan is closely related to 5 of the 27 top action items in regards to constructing sidewalks, expanding the trail system, creating bike lanes, complete streets, and to provide opportunities and healthy choices for Longview citizens. The bike and ped plan is essentially a master plan for capital projects to show where bicycle and pedestrian projects need to be constructed. City staff is recommending the consulting firm Tool Design Group, and I'm very pleased with their national credentials, experience, and their qualifications. And also they've worked with smaller cities like Longview. The bike and ped plan will be developed over a 12-month period at a cost of not to exceed $145,000. And it's funded 100% with federal planning dollars. During the bike and ped plan, the consultant will review conditions such as where are sidewalks, trails, bike lanes, and where are people walking, riding bicycles, and how do our sidewalks and trails connect to our neighborhoods, our transit routes, and key destinations. So they'll identify where we have physical barriers, missing links, and importantly, which schools have children walking or riding a bike to school. A big part of the plan will be public involvement, and we have some innovative things I think you'll be very happy with planned to actively engage the public. The end result will be a specific list of bicycle and pedestrian projects, prioritized along with cost estimates. So the purpose of this plan is to implement projects. So we can take the plan's cost estimates, that document, we can take those cost estimates and build projects. In closing, I am very excited for this project to begin, as it will be a framework for our community moving forward. It's going to help Longview become a more connected, walkable, and bicycle-friendly city while encouraging more people of all ages and abilities to walk, run, and ride bicycles more often. And that concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Owen. Any questions for Ms. Owen?
Yes.
discussion.
Thank you, Karen. I know this has been a long time coming. What's the timeline look like regarding involving the public in what they'd like to see?
Yes, it's about anywhere from a 5 to 6 month project, and that will kick off in September.
Okay, and also, you know, when you engage a lot of people, you have more ideas. So when the public becomes engaged, will we have a more concrete list to work from or options, or are we just taking all suggestions?
I think when it comes, you mean in terms of capital projects, or
Yes,
do you mean?
like when we think in terms of sidewalks, because that's something, since we've done the bond of 2011, that's something everyone wants in our entire community, and we've talked about a sidewalk plan. So hypothetically, I'm just asking, if someone comes to the meeting and they say, okay, I'd like them in my area, is that an option? Or are we working from a finite list? Because I know we have a list kind of circulating too, which I've seen as far as areas that we've identified that are prime for like complete streets and bike lanes. So I'm just kind of asking, you know, in regard to the public input piece, is everything on the table, or are we kind of already minimized to a certain degree?
No, I think in terms of public involvement and knowing that this is a first-ever bicycle plan, everything is on the table. I think all ideas are certainly going to be considered. We have a consultant who's very qualified and very experienced
Great.
that can come up with some ideas, because we want a realistic plan for Longview. We want something that's reasonable, that can work for the area. And as I talked about, you know, filling in those missing links or gaps, that's going to be certainly important, especially with sidewalks.
Right.
Because there may be some areas that we can find some, you know, some low-hanging fruit, some easy wins for us, and we can take some of those projects and do a small investment and perhaps extend a sidewalk system extensively.
That's great. And I know you've done your research, and I know what's been going on, but I would like to also encourage you to make sure that, you know, prior to this public meeting, when we engage the public, so that we can all, as council especially, promote it, make sure that people know the areas, because I know connectivity has always been a big piece, and so now we're here, and so make sure that the public understands these are the areas we're really trying to connect all of Longview, so they don't come in there and think, oh, my neighborhood's being left out. You know,
Certainly.
because then we get the phone calls.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
We'll certainly be
Fair
mindful
enough.
of that.
Good job, and thank you for your work. This has been about, what, 5, 6 years? Maybe longer? It's been a minute.
I'm sorry?
How long have you been working on this?
Oh, no, about probably, you mean, as far as getting this plan
The whole plan?
Well, this is one puzzle piece. Actually, this is one piece of the comprehensive plan. So
Right.
we wanted to be sure that the comprehensive plan was done first, and then move forward as we have smaller plans that are in play. The small area plans, those are coming, those are being
Right.
developed right now. The bike and ped plan is the next step. So we're building on each of these plans as somewhat of an extension of the comprehensive plan.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Karen, I know the MPO board met on Wednesday and unanimously is in favor of this as well. And that's a big step for this project to go forward, because if we don't have a plan in place such as this, it's going to be difficult to ever really get off high center. So I appreciate all the work you've done for this and what this will mean to the city if this, when this comes about.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now consider a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept $919,890 from Gregg County for Texas Department of Transportation to widen FM 2206. Roland.
Mayor, City Council, thank you for the time to speak. I wanted to talk a little bit about the project FM 2206 Harrison Road widening. This is the project that's really been identified since the 90s when I was visiting with Karen Owen. It's been identified as a need since the 90s. It's really been worked on and verified by the Master Transportation Plan, most recently in the past 10 years or so. This project is from Loop 281 to State Highway 42. Just to give you an idea of what the proposed improvements will look like, this is looking east from Fisher Road down Harrison Road. It will have a 10-foot shared multi-use path on the north side and sidewalks on the south side, and will be a 5-lane roadway stretching from actually Loop 281 to Fisher Road is the first phase, and the extension to State Highway 42 will follow shortly thereafter. So a lot of times we get asked the questions I'd like to address as far as the second item and the resolution for the TxDOT agreement as well jointly with this. So the first thing we're asking is for permission to enter into that agreement with Gregg County to accept that payment, which will basically cover our costs associated with the TxDOT contributions and will go away towards helping with the utility. The utility is actually relocating utilities as a part of this as well. So I'll detail that in just a second. Why are we required to give TxDOT money? This is basically, it's a state law that when local state projects are done with our community, depending on the level of project it is, they have a large table that's somewhat burdensome to look at. But basically, TxDOT requires local governments to contribute towards projects within their areas. And I've quoted the Texas Administrative Code at the bottom of that. So with local participation, the first arrow is basically the requested contribution from Gregg County, which is the first resolution that I'm asking for authorization for the city manager to sign. And the second note is to ask for the agreement to pay TxDOT. So the $572,950 is the local calculated share for this level of project within our community. So the graciousness of Gregg County and their contributions will basically allow for us to partner as we've done in the past on other projects such as George Ritchie Road. This will continue that partnership as near equal partners on the project. If you will recall, in the CIP program this year, the relocation of the utilities were also a part of that capital improvements program that are funded by the utility. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. McPhee?
Move to approve.
Just 1 second before we do that. Before we approve this, or vote to approve it, I'm kind of ahead of myself. Roland, thank you for the work that you all have done in this, Karen as well. But I hope you all realize that without Gregg County, we couldn't be doing this. So Gregg County's been very instrumental and very generous to help us in these projects. And we thank Judge Stout and the commissioners that see the benefit of what this is going to do, not just for Longview, but for Gregg County as well. Because as Roland was stating, the ultimate goal is to widen 42 from Interstate 20 to Highway 80, which is a north-south thoroughfare. But to bring it east-west, we need to widen this Harrison Road from the loop to Highway 42. And those projects really need to go hand in hand, because one without the other is really a waste of taxpayer money. So this is something we've discussed with the governor, we've discussed with TxDOT, and they found favor upon us. And we are very, very happy that this is moving in this direction, because this will make a huge change for commerce for our community for forever to come. So this is a big step moving forward, and we appreciate Gregg County and their help, and the help of our MPO and Roland and Karen and all that y'all have done. So thank you all very, very much. So now I'll entertain a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's the first one. Now we need another motion for the second resolution, please.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries as well. Thank you all so much. We are now to items of community interest. Excuse me. Okay, I failed to do something. When we had citizen comment, we just had one speaker card. Anyone else like to speak that didn't fill out a card that's allowed to speak if they would like to? Very well. My apologies for not making that note at that time. Items of community interest. Mr. Moore.
Nothing this evening.
Ms. Snoddy.
I do. Good evening, everyone. Ms. Arner, I just wanted to tell you that I, along with the staff and the students on my campus, have already completed this survey, so we on top of it. You're very welcome. Also, the Sign Initiative will host an event on Saturday, April 29th, starting at 3 p.m. at the Stamper Park Resource Center, located 502 South Center Street. The event is designed to educate and provide a forum for the community to express their thoughts and concerns regarding the fire training facility. And that's going to be on Saturday. And I was thinking today, and in prayer, I was thinking, wow, we really live in a great city, you know. And if any of you are wondering or doubting whether or not Longview is a great place to live, I need you to think about the recent events that have occurred in Longview with some of the citizens. You know, along with the people in our community that came to the aid of the elderly people and helped apprehend the gentleman that was assaulting them, as recent as the guy who found a purse full of cash and turned it in. And also talking to one of my coworkers today who stopped, and Chief, you were there, the young lady that was doing the CPR on the gentleman during the motorcycle accident. I actually worked with her. So we really do have some great people in Longview that are doing great things, and I'm proud to be a citizen of Longview.
Thank you, Ms. Snoddy. Ms. Williams.
I just would like to wish my grandmother a happy birthday. Today, my grandmother is 94 years old, and she's still doing well, and I feel so blessed. And her party, I'm putting it publicly, I'll probably get in trouble. Her party is Saturday at Whispering Pines at 2. I'll be there, so you know it's going to be a party. And she loves it. So I just want to say happy birthday, Ma. I know she will see this. Thank you, that's it.
Happy birthday. Ms. Ishihara.
Nothing for me.
Mr. Wright.
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Pirtle. Mr. Willard. Okay. We have 3 more days to help a park in Longview. Nominate Longview to win the $20,000 grant to improve Teague Park. Go to nrpa.org/be-inspired and nominate Longview. Longview's Library Summer Reading Club 2017 sign-up begins on May the 1st. You can sign up at the library or go to longviewtexas.gov/SRC. Our Veterans Plaza at Teague Park continues to gain momentum. We need you to continue to donate your dollars, $5, I'm going to keep asking it, $5, to the Veterans Plaza. Go to vetplaza.org so we can complete this project. You'll not have to continue to listen to me talk about it every single meeting until it's done. So keep it up. There are several upcoming events throughout the Longview community. Downtown Live is April 28th, featuring Shine Box. I don't know how many of you all were able to go last week to hear Dagnabbit, but it was, once again, phenomenal, amazing turnout, beautiful weather. The facility is fantastic, and it's great to see our friends and neighbors out there enjoying what Downtown Live is producing. So go at 28th, that's tomorrow night, and see Shine Box. Friends of Doors presents Cafe Murder, Mystery Dinner Theater at the Summit Club, Friday, April the 28th. The Arc of Gregg County is doing Mudbugs and music on Saturday, April 29th at the Mod Cobb Convention Activity Complex at the Exhibit Building. This is one of my favorite crawfish boils. I was at the Harvest Festival last weekend. Amazing, as we'll talk about in a minute. But this is another one that's just as good. It's fantastic, and it has such a great cause, the Arc of Gregg County, as does the Harvest Festival. So thank you all for your participation and those who put these events on to benefit the community and as it is. For more information on these events, please check out the calendar at visitlongviewtexas.com to learn more. Get your event on our calendar, and we will announce it. I would like to just, before we get the survey, as Ms. Snoddy mentioned, James Thomas is the name of the gentleman who returned that money. And I just want to say publicly, that's the kind of city employee. He works in our sanitation department. He found a purse full of money and credit cards, and he returned it to the owner. And that's the kind of integrity and the kind of service that the city of Longview is. And we should feel proud to live in this community and have these individuals working with us. So I'm proud of you, James Thomas, and proud of our city for the things that we do. It is very, very refreshing. Survey. If there were a high-speed rail available which connected Longview to Dallas in under an hour, would you utilize it? Yeah. You and 91% of the people that took the survey. And let me just tell you, this is an interesting question. And, you know, I have been educated on rail lately, thanks to Ms. Williams and to Dietrich Johnson. But you realize there's 2 types of high-speed rail. There's high-speed rail and there's higher-speed rail. Okay, I thought it was a typo at first. No. But high-speed rail is like 90 to 115 miles an hour. And then higher-speed rail is like the bullet trains, 120 and above. We're talking about high-speed rail, 90 to 115. And do you realize that with our infrastructure and the resources with tracks from Longview to Dallas, this is already a possibility in Longview? Yeah. To have 2 trains a day going between Dallas and Longview, which would be really amazing if you think about what that could do for commuter traffic, for people that want to say, work in Dallas and live in Longview and take a train, get there. The train from Longview is fast. You can get to the center of Dallas from, say, Highland Park in Dallas traffic. So this is the interesting concept, and I hope we continue to explore this. As I know we're exploring with our rail right now, you realize Longview is at a point where, you can go from Los Angeles, California, all the way across the United States to Longview and then go north to Chicago on our Amtrak train. And we're pushing now to extend the tracks from Longview to Marshall and on to Meridian, Mississippi, where then we will connect with another train that will go all the way to New York City. So what that would mean is that Longview becomes the one and only fork in the road, where you can go to Chicago or you can go to New York City from Los Angeles. And that would be really something special. So we're working on that and moving towards achieving that. But it's interesting that the amount of people that would use this high-speed rail, you could get to Dallas and back in under an hour. That would be pretty cool if you want to go to sporting events, shopping events, things like that. So I'm glad you all took the survey. I'm glad the survey came out favorable, because I think 91% is a pretty good number. Okay, let's talk about the Harvest Festival thing. This last weekend, Harvest Festival, how many pounds of crawfish do you think were served? The answer, well, 2,400 was 11%, 9,000, 32%, 14,700, 36%, and 18,000, 20%. 18,000. 18,000 pounds of crawfish were cooked and consumed on Saturday night. Amazing. And I think I ate about 1,000 of those pounds. The next morning I can't even breathe. I'm so much salt, and it's just terrible. But it's a fantastic event. And it was in conjunction with the rodeo. And I know, Dave, you didn't mention the rodeo, but the PRCA Rodeo and the Rotary Club, y'all did a phenomenal job again this year. The weather Friday night was fantastic. Saturday night was a little bit cool, but it was a great turnout. Michael Shirley, so involved in that. We thank you for your leadership, and you represent our city so well when you chair that event. So thank you to that. And, once again, it's a great time to live in Longview. We have so much to do and so many things going on. It's very, very special. So great events this weekend. Thank you all for participating. Thanks for participating in the survey. 18,000 pounds of crawfish. Pretty crazy. Okay, we have an update on the homelessness task force. Once again, our purpose is to get everyone on the same page so we can do collectively and address this problem to reduce our homeless population. We had our meeting again last week. We will be waiting for our information to come in tomorrow to me so we can get ready for our next week's meeting. We had a very, very informative meeting last week. We actually got on a chalkboard and started writing, because we're now starting to really hone this thing down and get to the nuts and bolts of this. So this committee is very committed, and they're very forceful. They're working hard, and they're bringing things that I think we're going to see. They're going to make a huge difference for our community. So I'm very pleased and very thankful that this committee is working in the way it is, and we will have a good report for you at our next meeting as to where we are in this task force, because they're working on some really important things right now. So I appreciate that and the time and effort they put into this. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.